Now, you can't talk about rebuilding the American economy without talking about rebuilding some of these cities and mentioning real estate. Gary Garrabrant is the CEO of Equity International, billionaire Sam Zell's right-hand man, the international guy that does all that investing with Sam Zell. But Gary, great to see you in Chicago this time.
Great to be here with you.
Now, I know, for a change. Now, before we talk international, let's just talk Chicago for a moment.
Sure.
Because you know certainly quite a bit about what's going on in the real estate market here.
Yes.
Sam Zell just bought, I think, what is it, 200 South Wacker,
yes.
A building there.
Yes.
And you say that that's a symbol, or I guess a signal about a change in the market?
Yeah, it's an important signal because what it suggests is that after several years of inactivity, investors are showing conviction that things have reached a bottom and that there's going to be growth from here. Now, that's not to say that it's going to be quick, because there's still a struggle to lease space. But Sam's basis in this building is so low that it'll be a terrific investment, I'm sure.
You mean that he'll be able to offer incentives to those who want to lease?
Yeah, it's actually a throwback to the Zell Merrill Lynch days of the late 80s, early 90s in that way.
Before my time, just kidding.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding. Gary, so what about demand, though? I mean,
yes.
you're just touching upon that, but that's been a big part of the commercial real estate market. The demand is just not there. It's happening in New York. What about in Chicago?
Well, Chicago is different than New York. New York and Washington are driven by different things, certainly, and are rebounding much more quickly than the rest of the country. Chicago mirrors the balance of the country. And is struggling with demand, particularly for office space. The three primary users of office space are banks, law firms, accounting firms, and those three sectors have consolidated substantially over the last 5-10 years. And so demand has just categorically decreased.
Prices, though? Has that been reflected in prices?
Well, interesting. The capital markets have delinked from the property markets in a sense, where investors are in effect accepting lower returns on investment. Both debt and equity. And so easier to get debt, and buildings are selling. But the return on their investment is lower than the risk would suggest.
Interesting. Talk to me about international. You're now moving into India, right?
Yeah, well, you know, our business continues to evolve, and we have such a terrific base in Brazil and other parts of Latin America. We've been in China for 5 years. We've tried so hard to get established in India, and just over the last several months, we have engaged in two distinct conversations, which likely will result in something for us, and we're very excited about commencing operations in India.
Are you able to give us some general details about it?
I can't really, because we're in a quiet period, but we have...
But these are commercial properties?
Well, you know, we're a builder of real estate-related businesses, and these are consistent with our other portfolio companies. But we're excited, and that's another signal, I'll say, that India is coming back, which is, really promising.
And part of the BRICS, which is what, you know, I know we've talked quite a bit about. You're big in Brazil, big in China, and now you say as in India. Gary, great to see you. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you so much for having me.